we are forced to defend shit that's goofy, that's not even that good, right? We go on this because the left is so reactionary. We go on this blind offensive to defend some shit that was trash in the first place. Mira que ya viene la revolución, para que se asustan será pa' mejor. Es el pueblo entero el que ya está gritando, viva la revolución.
Iranian nuclear weapons development.
They have turned the island into a communist hellhole.
The experiment in Venezuela has failed completely.
I wanted to ask you, first of all, are you familiar with the 1619 project? I saw this ad. I was talking to you about this before. I saw this ad. I was driving here in LA. I saw this ad, 1619 Project, the greatest story never told, Hulu. New York Times, a newspaper that supports imperialist war, a newspaper that supports Israel and supported South Africa, the apartheid state. New York Times, a newspaper that had funding from a lot of former slave owners and just the elite bourgeois capitalist class, now producing this story, like the greatest story never told. I feel like in a way, the mainstream media and these mainstream outlets are trying to have their own narrative about what actually happened with the brutal history of racism and slavery in the U.S. that still lives on today. What are your thoughts on this? If you're familiar with 1619, what are your thoughts on it? And just the general mainstream media trying to rewrite the history of slavery and imperialism.
Well, I think Nicole Hannah-Jones is a bum. Putting it on wax. You know I'm feeling live out too, Nicole. But anyway, what I think is that capital funds its own opposition. So one might see 1619 Project as oppositional. And indeed, the way these goofy ass white historians have reacted to it makes it seem like it's this radical path breaking thing when really they have just been doing bad history, right? And so capital funds its own opposition, and so I'm always weary of any story that powers that be are willing to tell. So for example, all of this these university slavery studies now, right, are really taking off. It's like now people can say, oh yeah, slaves and shit. So it's like, when people are willing to admit certain things, what are they hiding? And then I also think this hyper focus on slavery keeps us very past oriented, or makes people extrapolate into the present in ways that are really, really problematic. So for example, again, like the New York Times did this whole thing about Haiti and the French the indemnity that Haiti had to pay to France, and then U.S. occupation. No mention the core group, no mention ongoing neocolonialism, ongoing occupation. And so sometimes being very past focused, it's hiding something that's happening right now, or it's also to distort the dynamics that are happening right now. And so I think the 1619 Project is no different. And it's very sophisticated, because then it recruits some of the best minds, to participate as pundits or talking heads. And some of these scholars are sharp, and it's, to be fair, Nicole Hannah-Jones did take up Gerald Horne's 1776 thesis. It's actually the basis of how she starts this thing out. But because she's a bourgeois, she's not even, people keep calling her academic. She's a journalist. Because she's that, she doesn't have any bars. She doesn't have the range to actually do anything with it. And because she's invested in this American project, she's invested in this U.S. project. And so even the radical scholarship gets harnessed to like goofy ass ends. So that's what I think about the 1619 Project. And then what keeps happening with so many things, it's happening now with the AP Black Studies stuff. We are forced to defend shit that's goofy, that's not even that good, right? We go on this because the left is so reactionary. We go on this blind offensive to defend some shit that was trash in the first place. And then we and then, the actual work, the actual struggle, the things that we need to sustain us just get called ultra leftists are pushed to the complete margins. And so, I think that, that's what I feel about the 1619 Project.